I have your newsletter
Okay.
that I received in my inbox. And so you had this really neat story. And I just love this, right? Because like just because you're marketing one way doesn't mean you can't do another.
Yeah. Well, you have to utilize it all.
Yes. It's a strategy. Each of the tactics really become your strategy.
That's correct.
So there's a story in the last newsletter I received about a deer and a lion.
Right.
And they both wake up the same way every morning. And the deer knows to live to the next day, it's got to outrun the lion. And the lion says, if I want to eat and not die today, I've got to outrun the slowest deer.
Right.
So they each know their mission. They get up and go to sleep the same way. But the moral of the story was running your best.
That's right.
No matter the situation. Welcome to Canned Heat, brought to you by Liger Partners. We are marketing and operations experts bred for our skills of magic. I'm Whitney Mendoza. I'm managing partner, and today I'm super excited because I'm with Mark McKenzie of Docqmax, and we've just got a new title for him, which is CNO, Chief Networking Officer.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go with that.
That's a good one because that's really what I do.
I kind of like that.
Day in and day out.
So tell us what you do with Docqmax. It's family business. So that's a story in itself.
Right. It is. It is. Where I am partners with two other brothers, and another brother works in the company with us. We've been in business since 1975, and we have not killed each other as of today. So
check back tomorrow.
Yeah, check back tomorrow. If you see us in the news, that's probably one of the reasons.
That's awesome.
But it is an awesome. It's a blessing. It's sometimes a curse. Well, my brothers would say sometimes it's a curse.
Yeah.
But it really is a blessing.
That's awesome. So what do you do at Docqmax?
So mostly I do business development. I basically go out, network. I am the face of our company for the majority of our marketing and advertising. I am the one that's going out, building relationships with companies and individuals and trying to establish an opportunity in the printing market that we service.
And what are some of the pieces that you would print for businesses?
So I do I'm a traditional printer. Started out as a quick print franchise, and about 22 years into it, we got out of the franchise and became Docqmax Digital Printing. So we do everything from catalogs, brochures, manuals. A lot of our products we produce are invitations, direct mail pieces, pretty much traditional printing, but we do a lot of it digitally now, which means we're running it on high-end digital printing equipment as opposed to traditional Heidelberg offset printing equipment, which we got rid of our last Heidelberg 4-color press about 4 years ago.
Wow. Well, you have given us some awesome print pieces. So a couple of things that we've worked with you directly on, and we're going to bring this back because you and I were talking a little bit before the show, that some of the things I wanted to discuss was a lot of people equate the printing business today as radio, newspaper, right? Like it's going away. It's a dying marketing tactic, if you will.
Right.
And I disagree, and we're going to talk about why and some of the challenges you face and that. But to that example, when we had worked with you, we printed for our client. They were going to a trade show. And so there was a 1-page, right, that accompanied and a video that we had done. So for one piece, if you didn't know this, you're there and you're seeing the video, but guess what? You're going to walk away and leave that trade show, and then I'm not going to remember who you are.
That's correct.
Unless I've got something to take with me.
That's right. And that's the value of print.
Yeah. So we did the 1-page that really summarized the video, kind of brought that back to your mind. Then we also did some, we'll call them postcards, but they were really information cards where people could fill them out and
Correct.
give us. And then that way we had something to remember them by
Right.
When they stopped by the booth, it wasn't just a handshake and great to meet you. We actually got that information so that we could follow up with them after the show.
That's correct. And that's how you utilize print. The majority of the time, that is one of the basic principles of print.
So walk us through that, some of the challenges that you see today, and then how you, Docqmax in particular, help your clients stand out.
So we'll utilize a trade show as an example. So with print, there's email marketing, there's video, it's all that. And print is just a small equation to that overall marketing piece. One of the best values is before the trade show, you hit them up with emails, you get them, let them know where your booth is going to be, what you're going to be doing at your booth. If there's a prize giveaway or free seminar or whatever, you do that with email. But as a pre-qualifier, pre-show, you basically send out a postcard with that same information. That postcard actually is something for them to hand, touch, feel, smell, and enjoy the moment, basically. They basically will utilize that card as a reminder. Once they get to the show, it might have directions on how to get to the booth or what the prizes are, or how to pre-register if they haven't already done so via the email campaign. It's just one more tactic to actually engage a client. Once they get to the show, then the actual individuals or businesses will market their products. They'll show the videos. They'll have the salespeople or account reps talk to the individuals that are interested in their product, and then they have a takeaway, and it's usually a printed piece. It's not. It might be a tchotchke. It might, or I don't want to say tchotchke. It might be a promotional product.
Sure.
That promotes their brand and their image, but usually a print piece will follow with that, and that would be maybe it might highlight one or two of the products that they're actually presenting at the trade show. It's one more way for them to recall when they go back through their bag of goodies, to recall, oh yes, this is somebody I wanted to follow up on. So there's usually a direct, either a QR code or some sort of personal URL or whatever to direct them back to the website or that. And then there's also a follow-up letter, basically. You can do that with email, but a letter is more personal.
Sure.
It's a personalized letter. It's, directed specific to the individual. It might actually have information on what they were interested in when they talked to the account rep or the salesperson at the show or the owner of the show. It's personalized. It's relevant, and basically it gets opened. Whereas sometimes the emails, after they get back from the show, they're not interested in the email. They're overwhelmed with emails. And, they've been gone for 1 or 2 days or 3 days or a week. Their email basket is full.
Right. It's true.
Their mailbox probably isn't full. And by sending a personalized, relevant letter, just as a follow-up, that actually lets them know that you care, that you're still interested in them. They basically almost always open it up, so they touch it, feel it, smell it, and live it. And those are the things that we help our clients with on a regular basis. And it's not just trade shows, but we help them when their sales teams are trying to develop relationships. When maybe a election campaign or something, they're actually trying to raise dollars, or a development campaign for one of our private schools. They're trying to raise dollars for a new building or a new class or whatever. We do direct mail. We do personalized direct mail, which will help them with their products and gaining awareness. It's just one small tactic of having the website, having a landing page.
Sure.
So we would print a direct mail piece personalized with a landing page specific to that client and that product that directs them basically to their own page on a website. So let's just say that one of the schools we do printing for is building a new building, and they're looking for $1 million in campaign contributions for that campaign. We personalize it. We give them actual URL, personalized URL that they can go to. It's already populated with their information that the school provides us, and then they can make their donation accordingly. So it's a direct way to basically utilize print in a marketing world, which includes email, video, social, all those things. Print is just another small part of that marketing campaign.
Yeah. I love that. My mind went so many different places. I mean, I love that you brought up the fact that it's really 4D, right? Because my producer's going to laugh. When I get an Ulta magazine.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
I can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Smells like the store.
Yeah.
I smell the perfume, the cologne.
Yeah.
I love getting an Ulta magazine. And they do the same thing, right? Like they send me emails and tell me I get 20% off and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But I don't always go to the website and look at maybe what's new. But I will take that magazine and flip through it to see what's new in store, right? Like it draws me in some sort of different way.
Well, and I just want to bring up the point that one of the number one users of direct mail is Google.com. So you're thinking, well, what do you mean Google is using direct mail? Google.com uses direct mail to direct people back to Google.com. It's just one of their tactics in their arsenal of marketing opportunities and finding new clients. So it's very important. It's a very important part of everybody. It should be.
Yes.
If it's not, it should be.
Yes.
And plus, your emails are overloaded, whereas your mailbox really isn't. And, the direct mail piece gets touched numerous times, whereas your email, you may not ever see it because it goes direct to spam.
Sure.
So,
That's another great point. I remember seeing this print ad that Apple for a Mac sent out. And they had basically taken 4 pages, but it was the MacBook, and that was the page. So the back was what the top of your laptop would look like, and then they had the screen, and they were trying to communicate that it's like that slim. But same thing, right? Like you're targeting tech people in a print way.
Right, in the print environment.
Yeah.
It's, for me, it's exciting because I get to see different ways of how print is utilized. And printing is basically duplicating something that someone else has already done. So the Bible has been written, produced millions and millions of times. There's different versions of that Bible. It's just a different version. And so I don't want to say in the printing we plagiarize, but we tend to copy a lot of different marketing pieces, different ideas, and utilize that because when they're successful, they're usually successful more than once.
True. So bringing it all back to the digital world, okay, I have your newsletter that I received in my inbox. And so you had this really neat story. And I just love this, right? Because it's like just because you're marketing one way doesn't mean you can't do another.
Yeah. Well, you have to utilize it all.
Yes. It's a strategy. Each of the tactics really become your strategy.
That's correct.
So there's a story in the last newsletter I received about a deer and a lion.
Right.
And they both wake up the same way every morning. And the deer knows to live to the next day, it's got to outrun the lion. And the lion says, if I want to eat and not die today, I've got to outrun the slowest deer.
Right.
So they each know their mission. They get up and go to sleep the same way. But the moral of the story was running your best.
That's right.
No matter the situation. So tying that in, I want to bring your CNO, your Chief Networking Officer title in, because we've talked about print and using that to really accompany your digital properties. But networking is really marketing yourself.
Okay, you're right. Absolutely.
And you are, on a scale of 10, you're an 11 when it comes to...
Thank you. I don't always agree with that, but I do appreciate that, hearing that from others.
Yeah, when it comes to networking, both in, you and I had talked about before the show, yes, the longevity of business, but also your authenticity in the way that you network. So tell us about that. What are maybe Mark's tips to personal branding in the flesh?
Well, first of all, is getting personal. So finding out about the people that you are networking with, knowing what kind of room you're in. It comes back to what I was talking about, the pre-show. You have to do your homework. You have to know who's going to be in that room or what type of people are going to be in that room. I basically am one of those individuals that I don't like to network alone, so I always like to have a wing person along with me. So any event I go to, I try to have a guest or 2 or 3.
Or 8.
Or 8, yeah.
Like the one I went to.
Yeah. And basically I know those individuals, and when I'm in that room and I'm talking to other individuals and I find out what their interests are, what they live for, what they're passionate about, I try to make sure that I introduce the people that I came with or brought as guests to the other people in the room that I might know, like, and trust. That basically is, I'm building goodwill between both of them. Once an opportunity arises for either one of them, they remember that I was the one that helped them get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's where the value is, and that's where the value is in any relationship. So it's always about giving, paying it forward. And, you always hope that circle comes full scale, comes all the way around 360, and you get the environment to reap some of those benefits. The dollars are not always the benefit. They help. I mean, they feed my dogs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, my dogs like to eat. So do my children.
Yes.
But it is really about helping others be successful. And if you can help others be successful, you basically reap those benefits of success.
Sure.
You will actually be the actual end recipient of that success, and you too will be successful. But it's not always about the dollars, and you have to understand that. So when I network, I do a pre-networking, so I know what the event is going to be. I know who's going to be in the room, what kind of people. So I do my research. I go on LinkedIn. I look and see who they are, who might be, if I have a guest list, that helps. But going to the same events that are worthwhile and at the level that you need to be at, it also helps because you meet those people time and time again, and that's how you develop relationships.
Sure.
You're consistently there. You're showing up for the game.
Yeah.
And that is how I network. And I try to give before I receive. And, but there's been many opportunities where I've been given to just out of the blue, and I'm thinking, where did this come from? But at the end of the day, it's still giving. And I think a lot of that comes from, I went to parochial school as a child, and the nuns kind of beat it into you. It's better to give than receive.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's it. So that's how I start. The middle is I introduce others, qualified people to other qualified people, and try to make the connections happen. And then, of course, there's always the follow-up. So you have to sit down, write them a personal note. I've been known for over the years is to collect business cards, laminate them, put a luggage tag on it, and send them a personal note with a luggage tag in it. I have not done that probably in the past 3 months. I need to get back to it. It's just my schedule's I've been taking care of grandchildren this summer, so it's a little bit hectic around my house. But that's the way to do it, and that's how you become memorable. And when you become memorable, people get to like you, and they're willing to make those introductions to you as well.
Sure,
and that's what it's all about.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to bring that up, that you had mentioned the pre-networking, the networking, and the post-networking because same thing, you and I had met for a second time, we think.
Right.
At a local Atlanta business growth group. And you and I met and we talked, and then you followed up with me on LinkedIn.
Right.
So really bringing it back full circle to, yes, you're in print, but you're networking, and then you're building those connections, as I just said, through your newsletter is the digital way to do that, and then also LinkedIn.
Right. You have to have the social aspect of it. I think LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tools any business owner or business person has at their disposal. And if you're not utilizing it, you're losing out on an opportunity. And like anything else, 20 years ago, we saw the writing on the wall with being a traditional printer. We saw it becoming more and more digital, email, newsletters. Our clients were not printing hundreds and thousands of items and having to store it on shelves and then picking it and shipping it. It became just in time delivery. So we were printing 500 pieces as opposed to 100,000 pieces and distributing it in. And then it's got to the point now where a lot of it can even be 1 or 2 pieces, where we print 1 or 2 pieces for the client and send it out. Our basic, probably in the neighborhood of about 1,000 pieces is what we normally print for a lot of our clients. But that's a huge change from when I started in the business. I had an account that was CNS Bank for a long time, and we printed an employee newsletter on Thursday afternoon after 4:30, and it was 60,000 pieces.
Wow.
Soon all the tellers had computers, screens in front of them, and that newsletter was distributed via their intranet. And so we no longer were printing newsletters. So we had to find a way to evolve. We had to find a way to survive. And part of that is you have to change your business model. You also have to change the way you look at business. You have to have coaches and mentors and other printing owners that you talk to in the associations, and you find out what they're doing that's making them successful and keeping them successful. And it's a lot of hard work. It's getting out there. Instead of talking to 25 people and winning 25 accounts, I have to talk to a couple hundred people to get 25 accounts. So it's, but it's a rough world out there, and you got to put your big boy pants on.
Right. I love that. And you also have, which was super convenient for me personally, is your online ordering platform.
Right. It is. It's amazing. It's an amazing tool. It's basically you can send an order through our website, so you don't have to go to some certain website to upload your images. You can do it right there. I also have a product that's online that basically you're able to go in. I have like 20,000 templates. You're able, if you have a little bit of design, not a lot, but there's templates on there where you can use our graphics, our logo, and then basically place your content, your photos, and personalize it and produce a brochure that's professional looking and submit that through our portal or through your online portal. So it tracks your history. It tracks your jobs that you produce with us, that you send to us. So in a year, when you go back and say, well, I think I ordered like 10,000 of these letterheads or 10,000 of these brochures, and I'm out, and it should take me 2 years. Well, you have a history there. It shows you when you ordered them, how many you ordered, what the cost was, and that's just one more of the features that we have to have in order to compete in today's world.
Yeah. I also like, and I was trying to come up with a better word for it. I do like portal.
Right.
I also like, though, very Amazon-esque, I could watch the progress of my project because, like everyone else, we too came to you, I think, maybe a couple of days before we needed the flyers printed.
Yeah. So that is today's business environment. Everyone wants it today. Or 10 minutes ago. That's one of the features and we tend to really call our portals gateways. It's a gateway into our business. As a client, you're able to go into our gateway. You're able to see the progress of your print project. You're able to see when it's complete, if it's been shipped, and then the tracking number that's associated with it, so you can track it to your door. Those are items that we have on as a feature to our gateways or our website and your personalized gateway. So you could have one, the people that are doing your social media can have one, Eric could have one, but you as an administrator, you could oversee all of it and okay it and approve it or disapprove, whatever. And I have a lot of my clients utilize that because it's automated. it's also functional,
Right.
and it saves them time. And most of all, it eliminates the worry because you're being notified as it's moving through the print shop. So
we have a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
And in that time, let's look at, if I'm a business and maybe I'm getting ready to go to a trade show or host an event, something like that's coming up. What are maybe Mark's 3 quick tips of gaining some additional exposure and standing out from something else that maybe would take my attention away?
Well, I think first of all, basically having the plan in place prior to going to a trade show. So the pre-part is really one of the most important parts of having a successful trade show is the pre-planning. Basically getting in front of all the people that are going to be at the trade show prior to them getting to the trade show.
Sure.
So if you're going to have a special event the night before the trade show and you want people there, you have to market that. And so you want to basically use the emails, use your website to promote it, use a direct mail program to help promote it. And also, in the case of a lot of people, you've got to pick up the phone and call the people that are important that you really want to be at that event.
Ooh, I love that.
And it's
no one does that anymore.
No one does it anymore.
Yeah.
I have a few clients that do it, and their success rates go up dramatically.
Yeah.
Because they're basically, it's a personal phone call saying, we're having an event and we want you there.
Sure.
It's just one more thing, but you're basically, it's in sales, it's always touches. How many touch points are you going to have to go through before you actually get the opportunity to sell that client? The pre-show is probably the most important. And then, because you have to get what I call the butts in the seats. You have to have them showing up so you can actually talk to them, learn more about their wants, their needs, their pains. And from there, it's basically producing. So the event is very important too. You have a quality event. You make sure you take care of your clients. If there's a VIP section, you're putting the VIPs where the VIPs need to be.
Sure.
And you have people taking care of them. But then, of course, it's the follow-up. And a lot of people spend a lot of money at trade shows.
Right.
And they never follow up.
Yep. So it's almost like it's wasted.
It is. It's a waste.
Yeah.
It would be just like you coming to me and saying, I want to do a postcard campaign. They print 500 postcards and they mail it one time. Nothing's going to happen. You might get 1% reply on that postcard mailing, but you don't become top of mind. You don't become the person people are thinking about.
Yeah.
The company's people. You have to do a campaign that's continuous. It's just like this emails, the email newsletter we send out. We've probably been doing that for 15 years. People say 15 years?
Yeah.
But it also goes inside, alongside of our direct mail postcard that we send out. And then the phone calls we make, the follow-ups, the invites that I send to my clients and prospects to come join me at a networking event or an event. It may not be even a networking event, but every event for me is a networking event.
Of course, yes.
So there's opportunities there. You just have to plan for them.
So really the theme of this podcast is consistency is key.
That's right. That's exactly
right.
We've been consistently in business. We've been there when our clients need us. We're open when we say we're open. We're closed when we say we're closed. But the other thing is we consistently send out a newsletter. We consistently send out postcards. We consistently send out thank you notes. We consistently thank our clients. We consistently thank our prospects for allowing us the time to talk to them. But it's consistency, and that's what wins the day.
I love it. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining me today.
Oh, I love it, and thank you for having me, Whitney. It's my pleasure.
No, thank you. Okay, so really quick before we go, everyone, if you need anything print, go to Mark. Mark, how do we get in touch with you?
My email address is mark.mckenzie@docqmax.com. DOC, Q is in quality, max.com. My website is www.docqmax, D-O-C-Q as in quality, max.com. And you can either do that or you can pick up the phone and call one of the McKenzie brothers at 404-724-9963. And if a McKenzie brother answers, then you're in the right place.
That's perfect. And we'll have all that on our show notes
Yes,
too,
thank
so
you.
they can get in contact with you.
Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
Thanks so much.
Okay, have a blessed day.
You too. And thank you all for joining us on this edition of Canned Heat. Until next time, we'll see you then. Follow us on social media, ligerpartners.com.